What is good, rookies? We are going to make this short, sharp, and sweet. So, team sheets announced. What are our trades? What are we locking in? Am I confident? God, no. Before I get into that, though, we're just going to do a quick review of the Adelaide Richmond game. I am recording this on Thursday night. Could not watch most of this game as I was at basketball, but some interesting scores. So, Nate Curvis with 144. Great show. I'm not sure what his ownership. Oh, excuse me. I'm not sure what his ownership's like. Very low. If you had him, well done. That's probably going to make some massive difference this week. Some ones that are relevant for at least me or most teams. I'm thinking Baker, if you don't have him, one to keep an eye on. He's going to jump not too much in cash. Could be a good potential swing for like a Fisher as well. In the forward line, considering how dire it is. Short, decent score as well if you picked him up real cheap. Bolton, you really wanted more out of Bolton, but ultimately this is kind of what you expect with him. I know a lot of people are considering him for a cheap forward option, maybe like an F7. So not bad, not horrible. McIntosh, you picked up him, I'd say you're pretty happy. I think he had like a negative 18 break even, so that's pretty good. The sad story of Richmond is McAuliffe, who has just shown great potential. He got subbed on with like maybe 6 minutes, I think, to play, if that. Managed to get 32 points. Can you imagine what this man would have scored if he actually played, at least, let's just say, a quarter, maybe a half? He would have been able to put up at least a 70, I reckon. So for those that held him, traded him in, wanted some cover from him, this is not ideal. But that's Supercoach for you. Happens. It will screw you around. From Adelaide, Dawson, comeback game. Managed to bring up a 117. There was some kicks in the last quarter that were not ideal and not looking like on target or anything like that, but managed to clean up in the last half and bring home a 117. So if you held him, pretty happy. If you VC'd him with a risk, you pass. You pass on a 117 for sure. Led. That's all I got. If you try picking him in as a pod, bad move. Saligo, again, if you brought him in thinking he'd get more mid-time, that's not happening. Berry, if you somehow held him, you'd be pretty fucking happy. Rochelle, after having a cry to the media, Supercoach-wise, not that relevant, but he did manage to start the fourth quarter very strong and kick a nice goal, which gave him a bit of a win to come back and almost take it. The only two that are really Supercoach relevant, good old Kieran, who unfortunately got subbed off with an injury. I'm pretty sure it might have been groin or calf. So if you bought him in as like a cash cow, kind of like a sweet, it's looking pretty grim. Dowling, debut, kicked one goal, and then missed everything else on his next shot at goal. So I actually don't mind this pick. If you traded him in, I think you'd be quite happy. There's a lot of potential there. A lot of potential. I think he's going to be a good one. If he gets the right run, he's going to make some decent amount of cash and also provide some decent scoring. So hopefully he gets a good run. First game in, he looked ready. He looked fine. Other than that set shot, under like that much pressure for a debut game, he did very, very well. So I think if you traded him in, great option. We're probably going to be targeting him when he's on the bubble. That mid to forward DPP also works absolute wonders. And Burgess did nothing but tried covering Rock, which I think helped give Dan Curvis his massive score. It is what it is. Quickly going through our trades, bringing in Dawson, bringing in McMullen, and bringing in the good old Sir Heaney. About damn time. Trading out Wilson, Garcia, and Colossi. Now, Garcia and Rogers have not been named. I don't think Rogers is getting his way back into the team at the moment, especially if Graham's going to hold that spot. I just don't see it happening, so we're probably going to drop Rogers next week. I'm dropping Garcia this week because I want the cash. It doesn't really matter. They're both going, so I'm going to have the cash either way, but it literally changes nothing. But Wilson, high break even, we can get up to Heaney, so we have to. You just have to. Dawson as an option for a trade-in. Again, we had a lot of confidence in this pick. I was not sure most did at the start of the week, and then we've obviously come into this week with some question marks about his position. So it looks like he'll be playing forward. And the other Dawson's also back. So not exactly sure where that job security is. It does look a bit scarce. But the DPP for defensive to forward does help with needing to swing Sexton or Fisher should be required. So that's the only reason. And he's going to sit in our bench. We're also going to look at hopefully trading Hall down at some point to a mid-season draft rookie that might play. That's more of a luxury trade. Maynard is actually a chance to play too, which is really interesting because I think Ollie is out and they haven't named anyone new to fill his spot. So I actually think Maynard gets some time. So we'll see how that goes. That would be amazing because we've held him this long, and for him to come in and start actually making some cash again would be so ideal. Anyway, with that said, because I don't think he's actually. How many games has he played? Oh, he's played history, so he is on the bubble. There you go. So I actually might make some fucking cash if he scores decently. Regardless, should we need it, we can actually swing him up because we don't have Garcia anymore. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We got what, Saturday and then Sunday. So honestly, we can probably do this. We'll emergency McMullen. We'll see how he goes. If he doesn't do well, we'll fling in. If he does well, we'll fling in Jackson and take his score. But if it's horrible, we'll take the chance on Maynard. If he's not named sub. So something to keep an eye on. Last minute changes. We'd love to make them. But yeah, I'm not feeling too confident. McMullen looks good because of the scoring potential. Very similar to McNeil. I only played 2 games. Very scarce, as in like they start round 0, round 1 was their first game, and then now I've only really just came in over the last round or 2. So McNeil has some good potential scoring. Scored an 8 in his last game. He got some more time on field, which probably makes him more ideal. But he has an elevated price as well. He is a Bevo man, so there is always caution with that. I like McMullen just because I'm literally playing into the fact that I'm hoping he gets some minutes. I'm hoping he gets more minutes because these scores from those minutes, if he had more minutes, that would. I am hoping that he does get that because that's a lot of good scoring potential. But regardless, he's probably just going to be sitting on the bench anyway. So what can you do? You need a bubble boy to make some cash. We were hoping Blight was going to be named. Not named at all. Hutchison from West Coast also named. I know Spills is going early on him because he knows the bloke. I don't mind it. Saves us some cash too. About 20k. So imagine. I don't know what his job security is going to look like, but could go early. Especially if he's just going to sit on that bench. Yeah, you bring in the cash now, bank another 20k. Let's just see what this looks like, just quietly. I'm very curious about this because that means we have almost 150 to bring in next week, which is actually handy. West Coast are playing on Saturday against North. Ooh, very tempting, just because I get to keep an extra 20k in the bank, which helps with our upgrade to Ryan next week too. Damn. I'm gonna sit on this. I reckon I'm gonna reach out to Spills on Twitter and see what we can do. But with that said, that's the trades. Am I confident in them? God no. But it is what it is. For our VCC options, I think the standard is probably going a Bont into Dacos this week. Some people, if you have Sheasel, I think he's probably like a better choice for VC. I think he has the potential to pop off. Hence why I'm regretting trading him out. Rookie mistake. We traded him out for Fisher, basically, banked the cash, which honestly has worked in our favor. Like, since we brought in Fisher, he's done some really good scores, actually. Let's have a quick look. So since we brought him in, fairly sure. What round did we bring him in? I want my history. Get that off my screen. When did we bring in Fisher? Brought in Fisher around 10. So, my goodness, what is happening? I can't even remember what score we got from him. Yeah, so we saw the 140. We thought, cool. He's brought in a 116, 113, which has been relatively close to Sheasel. So we're getting similar scores within 10 points of each other. Honestly, not a bad trade at this stage. Emphasis on at this stage, especially because Fisher, with Colby still being out for an unknown time period, is looking like an absolute keeper in the forward line for us. So I'm going VC-wise, getting back to topic. Yeah, I think Bond's a great choice. I think Sheasel's a great choice. A lot of people are considering Flanders too. I think Flanders is definitely a good shout against St Kilda because they give up a lot of points to halfbacks. Dale could even be a potential shout against Brisbane, potentially. Who else we got? Outside of that, I think Heaney's probably going to pop off. He's due to pop off. We're bringing him in this week. It's only right we give him the VC, give him the opportunity to show us what he's got, and make a good debut for our team. So I'm putting the VC on him. Geelong could be at full strength, but will he get the attention? Don't know. Guess we'll figure it out. I think he's had some relatively decent scores against Geelong. Yeah, is that a 46 or 146? Oh, let me just quickly. I don't like that. Well, we're going to risk it anyway. Just because we brought him in, we're going to VC him, and then we're going to have a safety net of Dacos. I think Dacos is going to go well. Gawn can also go very well here too, coming up against Darcy Cameron, but I think Gawn's a good captain option as well. This extension sometimes does my head in. Gawn's got a really good run coming up too, so that's always beneficial. English could actually be a shout, just quietly. I have considered it because his last run against Brisbane have been amazing. Like, look these next 3 games. Look at this. Coming up against Sherry, coming up against Darcy/Jackson. He's not looking in like the same form as last year by all means, but the potential there is for big scores for both our ruckmen coming up. So that's always ideal. Grundy also has a great run, so I think Grundy's also up there for conversation. Whether Marshall gets there or not, I don't really care. I don't really care about Grundy either. We traded him out for Sweet, and that backfired on us, so I'm a little bit disgruntled. But yeah, there are our VCC options that we're going for this week. Yeah, next week's going to be interesting. Round 15, we're looking pretty good for buys. Again, ideally, I'm trading out Stewart to a Ryan. Obviously, we're going to have these two in, so looking pretty good. Potentially trading out Oliver as well. Potentially to a Dunkley or an LDU. Well, we'll see what pops up at the time for next week. We'll see who's looking good or not. That's had their buy already. We've already got Sarong, already got Butters. Could do a cheapy Rosie, but he's got a high break even, so I definitely would be pulling the trigger. And then round 15, we're not looking too bad again. When we switch our team around, we're going to have 1 missing from the back, potentially none missing from the mids, depending on what trades we make. Obviously, 1 missing from the ruck, and just 1 missing from the forward. Potentially, like Primo's wise. We're going to have rookie cover, so I'm not worried about that. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hope you guys had a great Thursday and enjoy watching the game. Hope you guys have a good long weekend. If you're like me and you live in Victoria or around Melbourne and Geelong, I don't know about you, but I feel like there's something going around because I feel like everyone's getting sick, but not sick enough to just like take you out for the day. Sick enough to be fucking annoying. So look after yourselves. Take your fucking vitamin pills. Stay healthy, and I will see you guys on Sunday for our round review.